you, if you take this wire and hook it up to that wire, it'll kill you. You can't do that. So the journeyman teaches the apprentice how to work electrically and how to do the job, how to do it safely, how to do it correctly, and also all up to the building code. So basically, what the steps are like a sponsorship, and they give us they put us in a position to identify the things that make our life unmanageable. And it says here, remember when I said we're needy? Well, it says here, we eat, drink, and grab for more of everything we need, fearing we shall never have enough. And that's because we're needy. And then in the next page it says, by now the newcomer has probably arrived at the following conclusions. That is, character defects representing instincts gone astray, the instincts for the social and the sexual and the material comforts in life, has been the primary cause of his drinking and failure at life. So what they're really saying is, it's a good thing that you quit drinking, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to succeed. And in order to succeed, you need to take the steps and find out what you're doing that works against you. And that's what the journeyman does. If the journeyman sees an apprentice doing something the wrong way, he says, just a minute here, there's an easier way of doing that. If you do it this way, it'll go a lot easier and you'll do a better job. And so that's the job of the sponsor, is to help the person see, I do this and it works against me. Like you say, you have problems with anger, and I can relate to that because I have problems with anger. And we're angry at people because they won't be the way we want them to be. And the reason why we want them to be the way we want them to be is because we still believe we know what's best for ourselves. So it all goes back to the same thing, that we have to give up the idea that we know what's best for ourselves and turn our will and our life over to the higher power, like it says in step 3. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so when and how and in just what circumstances did my selfish pursuit of the sex relation damage other people and me? What people were hurt and how badly? Did I spoil my marriage and injure my children? Did I jeopardize my standing in the community? Just how did I react to these situations at the time? Did I burn with the guilt that nothing could extinguish? Or did I insist that I was the pursued and not the pursuer, and thus absolve myself? How have I reacted in frustration in sexual matters? When denied, did I become vengeful or depressed? I know I did when I was married. The old lady didn't put out, I get fucking mad as hell at her.
Mm-hmm.
Did I take it out on other people? I took it out on her. If there was rejection and coldness at home, did I use this as a reason for promiscuity? Also of importance for most alcoholics are the questions they must ask themselves about their behavior respecting financial and emotional security. In these areas, fear, greed, possessiveness, and pride have too often done their worst. Surveying his business or employment record, almost any alcoholic can ask himself questions like these. In addition to my drinking problem, what character defects contributed to my financial instability? Did fear and inferiority about my fitness for my job destroy my confidence and fill me with conflict? Did I try to cover up those feelings of inadequacy by bluffing, cheating, lying, or evading responsibility? Or by griping that others failed to recognize my truly exceptional abilities? Did I overvalue myself and play the big shot? Did I have such unprincipled ambition that I double-crossed and undercut my associates? Was I extravagant? Did I recklessly borrow money, caring little whether it was repaid or not? Was I a pinch penny, refusing to support my family property? Did I cut corners financially? What about the quick money deals, the stock market, and the races? Business women in AA will naturally find that many of these questions apply to them too. But the alcoholic housewife can also make the family financially insecure. She can juggle charge accounts, manipulate the food budgets, and spend her afternoons gambling and run her husband into debt by irresponsibility, waste, and extravagance. But all alcoholics who have drank themselves out of jobs, family, and friends will need to cross-examine themselves ruthlessly to determine how their own personality defects have thus demolished their security. The most common symptoms of emotional insecurity are worry, anger, self-pity, and depression. These stem from causes which seem to be within us and at other times to come from without. To take inventory in this respect, we ought to consider carefully all personal relationships which bring continuous or recurring trouble. It should be remembered that this kind of insecurity may arise in any area where instincts are threatened. Questioning directed to this end might run something like this: looking at both past and present, which sex situations cause me anxiety, bitterness, frustration, or depression? Appraising each situation fairly, can I see where I have been at fault? Did these perplexities beset me because of selfishness or unreasonable demands? Or if my disturbance was seemingly caused by the behavior of others, why do I lack the ability to accept conditions I cannot change? That's a very important question. These are the sorts of fundamental inquiries that can disclose the source of my discomfort and indicate whether I may be able to alter my own conduct and so adjust myself serenely to self-discipline. Suppose that financial insecurity constantly arouses these same feelings. I can ask myself, to what extent have my own mistakes fed my gnawing anxieties? And if the actions of others are part of the cause, what can I do about that? If I am unable to change the current state of affairs, am I willing to take the measures necessary to shape my life to conditions as they are? Questions like these, more of which will come to mind easily in each individual case, will help turn up the root causes. So that's what we're looking for here. We're looking for the root causes for unhappiness. But it is from our twisted relations with family, friends, and society at large that many of us have suffered the most. We have been especially stupid and stubborn about them. The primary fact that we fail to recognize is our true inability to form a true partnership with another human being. That's an important sentence too. Our egomania digs two disastrous pitfalls. Either we insist on dominating the people we know, or we depend upon them far too much. If we lean too heavily on people, they will sooner or later fail us, for they are human too, and cannot possibly meet our incessant demands. In this way, our insecurity grows and festers. When we habitually try to manipulate others to our own willful desires, they revolt and resist us heavily. Then we develop hurt feelings, a sense of persecution, and a desire to retaliate. As we redouble our efforts at control and continue to fail, our suffering becomes acute and constant. And this is after we quit drinking. We have not once sought to be one in a family, to be a friend among friends, to be a worker among workers, to be a useful member of society. Always we tried to struggle to the top of the heap or to hide underneath it. This self-centered behavior blocked a partnership relation with any one of those about us. Of true brotherhood we had small comprehension. Some will object to the questions posed because they think their own character defects have not been so glaring. To these we can suggest that a conscientious examination is likely to reveal the very defects the objectionable questions are concerned with. Because our service record hasn't looked too bad, we have frequently been abashed to find that this is so simply because we have buried these self-same defects deep down under thick layers of self-justification. Whatever the defects, they have ambushed us into alcoholism and misery. Therefore, thoroughness ought to be the watchword when taking inventory. In this connection, it is wise to write out our questions and answers. It will be an aid to clear thinking and honest appraisal, It will be our first tangible evidence of our complete willingness to move forward. So what they're saying there is until you do step 4, complete willingness to move forward hasn't happened yet.
Mm.
Yeah. So for me, the things that stuck out was on page 52, why do I lack the ability to accept conditions I cannot change? What is it about me that I can't accept reality? What do I do wrong that causes me to be in conflict with reality?
Mm.
And then as a follow-up, it says, am I willing to take the measures necessary to shape my life to conditions as they are? Which is the next phase after why do I lack the ability to accept conditions I cannot change? And then what I've got on page 53 is the primary fact that we fail to recognize is our total inability to form a true partnership with another human being. And the reason why we have trouble forming true partnerships with other human beings is a true partnership is give and take. We just want to take.
Okay.
Because we're so needy, because we didn't get what we needed when we were small.
Okay.
And then it says here, as we redouble our efforts at control and continue to fail, our suffering becomes acute and constant. And they're not talking about drinking here, they're talking about in sobriety. And then underneath at the end of the paragraph, it says, of true brotherhood we had small comprehension.
Mm.
So that's what step 4 is really about, is to understand that we have all these instincts that lots of times they go beyond what they're supposed to be there for, like the instinct for sex and for social security and for materialism and all that kind of stuff, and that these defects cause all the trouble. That's why we are in conflict with people, places, and things, is because we think we know the way things should go. And that's the main problem. If we can give that up and accept the higher power's will for us, that's the only chance we've got. Because if we don't accept the higher power's will for us, and we keep trying to get our will, we'll never be contented, we'll never have peace. It'll just be the gong show till we die, whether we drink or not. And I think that to me it's important that they separate the difference between the destructive behavior when you're sober and the destructive behavior when you're drinking. Because when we're drinking, it's a gong show. You know, we just do whatever we want whenever we think of it, and we hurt all the people that love us, and we try to control situations that are none of our business.